Bets. I'm Chuck Bailey, and welcome to Hanging with the Hooligans, where today I am joined with Alex and
Alex.
What up?
What's up, homies?
And we've gone through a lot. We're gonna have quite a bit of topicage to go over.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Might spill into another episode.
Hey,
at some
hey,
point.
listeners.
Topicage.
One of the three of us got married. Guess who it was?
It was me. You caught me.
Yeah, Alex got married to himself.
Yeah, he
Thanks
did.
For reminding me to put my ring on earlier. My hand was feeling weird, so I took it off. So,
Nah, Chuck Bailey tied the knot to somebody.
yes. The guest from the other episode. I don't know
Yep.
if it was the last episode or
Yep.
the episode before.
Actually, I have yet to hear that one because that's the one where I just came in like halfway through from I think work.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah, something or other. But yeah, I mean, there really isn't too much of a topic to really say about the wedding. The wedding was a wedding, and it was fun.
It was on the West Coast, so I couldn't go. But that reception was bomb diggity. And again, I am so sorry, man. I thought I had that shit in my calendar.
Oh, no,
Apparently,
you're
I
good.
didn't.
No, you're good.
So when you were like, "Hey, when are you guys gonna come to the reception?" Right? I was just like, "Wait, that's today?" As I'm like, it's sitting there at a meeting, like 2 drinks in. I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm glad it's all done now. So we get back to normal things, saving money, or more of catching up on spent money.
Yeah, no
You
kidding.
know,
Oof.
stuff like that. We don't have to worry about this anymore. We can plan the next trip, which we'll take. I'm gonna plan a couple, but one trip we're gonna plan is a big old trip with the boys.
Yep.
At least the boys in high school. You're welcome to come too, Doug. Obviously.
Well,
Yeah.
if you could pull it off. But we haven't decided a place or anything like that yet, so we'll get to you guys the details when we actually decide all that.
what are you guys going to do for your honeymoon?
What do you mean?
Aren't you and your girl gonna go on a honeymoon?
We're gonna go to work. We did our wedding in San Diego, and we didn't have much of a honeymoon because her brother was there the whole time.
Nice.
Fuck you, Harrison.
You stinky butt.
Yeah, stinky boy. And then, we went home. The reception was like an obligation that her parents did.
Okay, real quick, was Harrison at the reception?
Yes.
Okay, I think I know.
Long-haired one.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
The one who was whining about everything.
Yep.
And then gossiping with one of the girls. Gossiping with one of the girls that apparently had, specifically while she was drunk, go, is she sure she wants to marry that guy? And then she went to the wedding reception anyways. And of course, Jay was all mad, and like, if she had a chance to say something, she said she wanted to. I was like, nah, who cares?
No, it's good. It's good. Ain't nothing gonna happen.
Yeah, she's just some fucking chick. Like, who cares?
Right?
But,
Ho be jealous.
yeah, she was definitely like in a shitty mood the whole time she was there. So I was like, dude, why are you here? No one,
Yeah.
I didn't invite you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, like I said, I'm glad all that's over. Yeah, I mean, usually you guys don't have much when you guys, talk about your personal stuff. So
Well, I mean,
That's awesome, though, man. Congratulations.
I'll definitely say that I don't really feel the need to be in an airport anytime soon.
Yeah, no, airports have gotten fucking terrible, dude. And
Mm-hmm.
like that's also coming from a person that flies every year too.
Right.
So,
they've
like,
been terrible.
yeah, well, these last 2 times were just exceptional because like I had to have to sleep somewhere I was not planning to sleep at. Like.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I was getting more mad with airports these days, always being fucking overbooked, or
Mhm.
it's like, why does everyone bring more carry on than they're supposed to, and now I gotta shove my shit under the seat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Motherfuckers, just check your shit, dude. Especially since half the time you get, like, to the place, like, before they even start boarding, they go, hey, y'all, we got a full flight, so if you have any extras, make sure to check it. And motherfuckers still walk on with, like, 4 fucking bags for some
Yeah.
reason.
I did check my shit, and every time it was a fucking disaster.
And that's what sucks. I hate that, dude. Like, here's the thing. Like, for some reason, you have an issue with it, but I've never had an issue. And mine even had, like...
Prior to this, I never did.
It's
Never had an issue
stupid.
flying.
Whoa.
This trip was. I mean, I didn't get my carry on. I mean, my stuff yesterday.
Oh, I see. I was gonna say they're good at getting luggage to places, but not people. But I guess they can't get either to places now.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, they delayed us on the way there. They fucking definitely delayed us on the way back.
Mm-hmm. And what's the deal with airplane food?
They give you just nuts, like D's nuts.
Please sponsor us, D.
D's nuts.
They give you fucking biscottis too sometimes.
I do like biscottis.
Yeah, biscottis pretty good.
They're pretty tasty. If I had some hot cocoa or something.
Hold on, train.
Ooh.
Well, I was gonna say, do you hear that wind?
I'm like, train for what?
Hey, also, we achieved the train quota. Woo!
Yes, we did. And by the way, speaking of training, I think it'd be really fun for us to have like a weight loss competition. Not for anything like super grand or anything, but like something that's fun.
Okay.
You know?
Well, save the spiel for when James is here.
Okay.
Well, see, I was also gonna say I feel like I'd be at an advantage though, because I like gained 10 pounds from
Doug,
somewhere.
I literally said you would be at a disadvantage.
Why?
Because you're the skinniest one.
Well, for now, but like if we're going from like weight, I literally gained 10 pounds and I don't even know how.
Well, all of our schedules get in our way, so it's like, how much of a competition is this really gonna be?
True. True.
But I mean, I want to try. I think it'd be fun. But yeah, I do want James involved as well. It'd be fun.
So we could get fit.
Yeah, us starting a competition without James, then he makes one episode, and we're like, oh yeah, so we've made all this progress.
Welcome back, James. We're day 3 into the weight loss challenge.
I never know when he's gonna be here.
Right.
So it's like I've had topics that I've just kind of had to let go because too much time has passed.
I mean, our theme episode we're still waiting on too.
Well, right. And also, y'all, we need to take a moment for here real quick. It is Mother's Day today, so I mean that's also why we are missing James too, because he's got a wife to attend to, because it's Mama's Day, and he's got a baby mama. There's the word I was looking for. He's got a baby mama.
And if there are any mamas listening to this podcast,
just
for one, thank you, but also happy Mother's Day.
So yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the ladies and everybody out there that's a mama.
Mm-hmm. Moms rock.
Moms do rock. So do dads, but it's not their day. So dads, go take a seat real quick.
Yeah, fuck off, dads.
Let moms take a stand for once, all right?
Yeah.
Sit the fuck down.
Yeah, but a reminder on Father's Day, we need to tell single moms to shut the fuck up too.
I feel like if I did that, Gilbert would be like summoned somehow.
I'm an like very inclusive person as far as exclusion goes, so it's just all women on Father's Day have to sit down, okay?
Well, yeah, but you know it's always the single moms that are like, "Oh, I'm the father too." It's like, okay, Dad.
Actually, correction, it has to be all mothers because I don't know who's a mom out there, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, how crazy! Nah, I'm not gonna say it. Anyways, happy Mother's Day.
Doug's letting it slip.
Yeah. You never know when we're in the Trump regime when.
Oh God!
Yeah, what happens? Do we start blending again? Like what?
Okay, so real quick,
Safety.
y'all. Was the last 100 days the longest 10 years of your life, or was it just the longest 10 years of your life?
It took 9 minutes to get to politics.
Really? That quickly? Wow, I thought we were into this a lot later.
I'm proud of us.
It's gonna take 2 minutes to leave.
Yeah, true.
Once we get shipped off to El Salvador.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
That's why they wanted to get the marriage done like now, so he could say he got married before he got sent to El Salvador.
Yeah.
I hope to the gods something happens, man, because like. There's no way in fuck he could be getting away with this, and there's no way in fuck he could just leave people in El Salvador, you know? Like, here's the thing. everybody could go like, oh, illegal immigrants, meh, meh, meh. But we have due process for a fucking reason. And these people were sent there either without due process, and even if they went through the process and these were like just people next on the list to get deported, and we were just like, oh, you know what? We're gonna roll the dice, and you landed on El Salvador because the dice was weighted. You're all going to El Salvador, and I also get it because like they sit here going on and on about like, oh, El Salvadorian gangs, or
well, also how many people are even making it to El Salvador?
Yeah,
like because of people saying awful shit online, you don't know.
There has been
what's real and what's not.
Mm-hmm. Well, basically, there's only been, to my knowledge, one person that's been on camera since being caught, sent over there during his internment there, and I still think he's over there though. You know, like he got an interview with like two. No, just one senator. There was only one senator that went down there and actually sat down with the guy. It was like, hey, I want to talk to this person while I'm here. I don't give a fuck about taking a tour of the place. I just want to talk to this one person while I'm here. And he got the interview and stuff. But at the same time, I don't think anything happened from that. I think he was just left down there, you know? Like, holy fucking shit. My God, dude. Like I I know it's because we were at war with this country and shit, but like it seemed like anywhere that, you know, like Americans got held up somewhere, you know, like by the government, whether it was like legal process or whatever, man, like we would throw rockets at them, either literally or metaphorically, you know, like. But nowadays it's just literally like we're gonna throw our neighbors under the fucking. Canada and Mexico don't like us, and I mean I think it was precarious to begin with, but now it's just straight up like, yo, go fuck yourself, America. What are you doing?
Dude,
it's embarrassing.
It is. It's scary.
Because in the end, I just want to chill with everybody. I would love to go to Mexico and not have to worry. I'd love to go to Brazil and not worry. I'd like to go to El Salvador and not worry. You know.
Well, you always gotta worry because you have money.
Well, and I mean,
so long as everyone needs money, when you go somewhere with money and they don't have money. And that's what
sucks the most, dude, is it's money that seems to fucking like just destroy everything. Like the moment that like some currency outweighs a societal necessity, like shit hits the fan in like global like manners. But all right.
Well, it's always leveraging, like, you know. Not to go the Fallout route, but it's always been leveraging, you know, resources.
Oh yeah,
really fucks people over.
And in our case, it's who could we get to mine it for the cheapest if we have to pay them at all?
Yeah, well, between mining or just fucking, I mean, you know, it's more so what intrinsic value do we have for something we don't even really own. Mm-hmm. But what we do own is WrestleMania.
You're barely showing up on the thing there, bud.
You know, this is why we had a fucking sound check, Alex.
I'm just... Okay.
This is why we had a fucking sound check.
I don't know what you want from me, man.
Did you hear me on the sound check?
Oh.
You sure did, so we better not have a problem. Otherwise, you suck, and it's your fault, not mine. No, no, you should be good. I'll even speak up if you want. Yeah, I said we owned WrestleMania because that's my very bad segue into that. That was something we missed.
I don't know. I thought that was smooth as shit.
It wasn't, I assure you. No, that was another thing we missed is Alex. I mean, I think he even mentioned it in a previous episode about us watching WrestleMania. I had agreed, so I went through, sat in a camping chair for fucking like 4 or 5 hours. And watched a whole wrestling thing. Now I don't have any real wrestling background. Like I still wouldn't call myself a fan of wrestling, but you know I've seen quite a few reels randomly scrolling, and I'll just kind of watch. So I've seen stuff. So I'm not completely like out of the blue of like stuff. But no, coming in it, seeing the complete, seeing a complete event from like well, not a complete. I won't even call it a complete event because there's still plenty of stuff that that I think was missing. But seeing an event that's like a pay per view thing or whatever, versus like, just seeing reels, it was an experience. Which yeah, I think we should talk about, as well as we just got done watching Backlash, and might as well talk about that experience too. So
No, that was a shit ton of fun.
yeah, Doug, are you much of a wrestling guy?
No, that's just like here's the thing. Like when I was younger, my brother was a big wrestling fan, so like just by contact, I guess, I'm a secondhand fan,
Well, that's how it starts for a lot of people. Is someone's family member brings them in.
Yeah, and I enjoy it, I mean, I know it's all theatrics and stuff like that, but I still don't know who's gonna win, I
Right.
don't know what's gonna happen next.
Jay
It's
just
a shit
says
ton of
it's
fun.
Drag queens for rednecks.
It pretty
basically.
much is.
Yeah.
It's American drag. It's
I
it's
disagree
American
because
drag.
I told her, I was like, it's more than runways and lip syncing. I was like, if they just did the lip syncing stuff, then maybe. But I mean, when drag queens actually have like a full on story on stage, then maybe.
Well, it's all drama is what it is, but
Yeah,
at the
it's
same
all-
time, it's accentuated by like violence, and it's like
Yeah,
yes,
it's all theater. That's all.
Yeah.
It's basically what if you lived in a world where the only option is to fight over things.
Going back to politics real quick, if we could do that with like every conflict we ever like, you
You want
fucking
to see a bunch of old people fight?
fucking
Doug?
throw Putin and fucking Zelensky inside of a wrestling ring match, dude.
Well, I want to be good. 'cause
That'd be
Putin-
really
Here
bad.
comes Trump with the steel chair.
Yeah. No,
Oh, he sat down in it. He's tired. He's tired.
it'd be a very different world because, for one, Putin's in good shape. So, it doesn't matter how much money we give Zelensky, fucking Putin would have rolled him.
Yep.
And then
I don't know, man. Like that could
I mean,
that
Trump
could
looks
just be
great
some
with,
really good fucking Photoshop, man. Like,
No, I mean, I'm talking about videos of him like doing like jujitsu and stuff. Not him being buff on the horse. That is Photoshop.
yeah.
It's he's a trained fighter. He's an ex KGB agent.
Well, yeah.
He's like he's what I would call like
He's lethal.
He's a classical Roman politician where he's an ex-military guy that went to the military or went to politics after a long career. Versus, I mean, you still have those guys, but they end up being losers. Like what's his name with the eye patch? Who got his eye fucked by a very brave Mujahideen.
Are you talking about the representative in America? Or?
Yeah, he's it's like Dan
was he the-
Crenshaw or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. No, whenever
Had a
I
little
see
too
him
much
up
of
on...
that peg leg potion.
Oh, so I tried my best to watch Fox the other day, Fox News, just to see.
Why?
Well, so what I was trying to look up was a recent event was the Newark, New Jersey ICE detention center. Apparently, there was a protest there, and then they also had representatives there to go inspect the facility, which apparently is their right as a representative to go and do like these sort of inspections and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there was some fiasco at the gate, and now somebody is calling for charges against those three people, and of course they're all three Democratic people that speak out against Trump and like these deportations and everything. So
Interesting.
and so this is just me literally just finding out about this today and doing some research and doing my own research.
On Fox News.
Yep. Well, here's so I found basically I started with like the body cam footage because I was like, oh, cool. The body cam footage was released because I saw some of the journalistic stuff and it was very like behind the backs of cops, behind the backs of piggies. So I'm like sitting there going like, oh, cool. No view. I can't see shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then the body cam comes out and stuff, and I'm just looking at it, and they get it from multiple angles. That's the great thing about body cams is that, like, it's not footage that's being, like, having to be caught, It's just happening. So, yeah, if that's also just a note to everybody, make sure to have your cameras ready at any time. Because it could be very useful.
Here's your PSA.
Yep. But anyways, I'm watching the body cam footage, and I'm just sitting there going like, man, again, it's really shaky footage still. And so I'm like, does anybody have like the live footage of it?
Because it's on their chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do they have any live footage of it, like from when they were entering, sort of thing? And the only one I could really find that was like kind of complete and not like kind of, here's a clip of this part, like they were just letting it run.
Chopped. Yeah.
Was Fox News. But at the same time, I was sitting there watching it, and it was like about 2 minutes of them just talking bullshit the entire time, as like just live footage from outside of the ICE detention center. That's, while everything's already calm, because that's what they always fucking do. That's what propaganda does, is they show you calm after the storm and these people being brave as they go about doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think about that. But anyways, as the thing goes along, they finally show the like just straight footage. Like this guy was able to kind of get above the crowd and see what was going on, because he had like one of those like GoPros, or no, what are they called? Selfie sticks. Yeah, he basically had like a camera on a selfie stick, so he was able to kind of get an aerial view of it all.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this, but as it's going along the entire time, motherfucker like speaking head in the corner there going, all right, so here's what's going on, and he's literally detailing absolutely like anything that's like against the people that are basically being accused. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like it's straight up propaganda and stuff. So you listen to it on mute and you can watch it and actually see what's going on. And I was actually in the middle of watching that when y'all came on over, so I kind of stopped and just came out here. So there's still yet to find a conclusion on that one on my end, but I think it's bullshit that these people are getting arrested for doing their jobs.
Right.
Something everybody's yelling at them to do, and here's the thing.
No one wants to work.
Yeah. Oh, well, here's the thing. Everybody can yell at these like politicians that do your job, and it's like, dude, they are. Their job is to be a citizen that could actually do something. So like their position is to give up their job to go do this job, which is to be a straight up representative of you, whether it be they're in DC being a representative, or they be within your state or inside your city. But they should still be held accountable to their actions and everything, Yeah. I don't know. It's just, they're arresting judges. They're arresting Congress people. Like, this is pre-World War II all over again, and we're not on the good side, guys. Like we're I'm waiting for him to come up and go, you know what? The Supreme Court keeps calling me and telling me I have to bring back these people from El Salvador, so I'm going to dissolve the Supreme Court. And I'm waiting for Congress to sit there with their thumbs up their asses and not do a fucking thing about it. And and here's the thing, I in regards to them, I'm trying to think of what the fuck they can do, which other than impeaching, with it they've already done twice. Mm-hmm. What is it, 3 times, or is it only twice?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Cool. Let's muddy those waters. It's either 2 to 3 times he's been impeached.
Right.
And nothing's fucking happened. He's been accused 34 times of felonies, and nothing's fucking happened. Like,
it's just too much Arrestides.
It's stupid. And I'm also hearing they're actually going forward with a fucking parade for his birthday.
Like I said, it's the Arrestides.
Anyway, so I saw WrestleMania.
God damn it. he didn't
and we went to the Roman oh man, what is it called? The Roman, what is it? The
Coliseum?
We went to the Coliseum just now and watched a bunch of wrestlers do some awesome shit, and I was happy for about 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. I don't remember how long it was, but it was fucking amazing.
I'm glad you had fun, bud.
I just hate it that I have to go to circuses in order to have fun.
I mean, all it is a circus.
That's totally a circus.
Yeah.
I mean, you think all these superhero movies and shit isn't part of that?
Oh yeah,
But
no.
then again, it's just marketing, you know.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
it is
wrestling
marketing.
itself, I mean, it's just a carny art form. That's literally where it comes from. So it makes sense. Unless I just missed... Did I miss something?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
No.
No, I'm just waiting to see if Doug's done derailing the topic or not.
He's full of the Arrestandies.
I'm stepping off my soapbox and I'm
indeed.
going to hit my vape pen for a moment and just calm down.
He's Arrestandies nuts.
Actually,
I've been trying so hard.
Candace.
Mm-hmm.
Lick my balls. That's what Alex was waiting for.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah. So,
Backlash in WrestleMania.
yeah,
Penta was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's... Did he win? No, he lost.
Yeah, he lost.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
To dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, no, that was dirty as
So I
shit,
actually
dude.
took
4v1.
notes on
Bull.
WrestleMania since, it was my first time. So, so this is the thing. I don't know how long. Alex has probably been watching this for like decades. I know he's getting back. He's got back into it in the recent years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is something like as a kid, Alex had watched to where I remember he even had like a neighbor at this trailer park who thought the leprechaun guy was real.
Hornswoggle? Yeah.
I don't know his name.
What?
He was mentally handicapped.
There was a guy. Yeah, he thought the. I don't know if he's even a leprechaun. I just know he was a wrestler and he thought he was a real leprechaun or something.
Yeah,
It
he
was
thought
good.
Hornswoggle was real.
It was a good meme that goes along with sides.
I can't believe you remember that.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah, that's why just part of the theater again.
He was in the WWE, though?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
He was Vince McMahon's illegitimate son. And he was a leprechaun.
No! What?
So
Yep.
Oh, shit.
yeah, so that's the kind of ridiculousness I stayed out of for years. Just hearing stuff like that, laughing at it, because that is fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Like a guy thinks, oh, no, he's a real leprechaun. That guy is a real leprechaun, and it's just dudes in spandex and stuff. It's a lot of stuff there's a lot of stuff to laugh at, obviously, when it comes to like wrestling. But I decided for my boy, I'd give him a open-minded. I'd sit through it with an open mind, not necessarily just like. I mean, I still made fun of it. There's plenty to make fun of.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, it's all theater.
Yeah, there's plenty to laugh at and stuff. But yeah. So the first thing is that shout out to our friend Courtney. She was there live. So I was
What up, Courtney?
I was watching out for her Alex sign the whole time, only for her to not use it at all.
So you knew about that?
Yes.
God damn it.
I helped her get the picture. Literally, she's like, "Can you get a picture of Alex?" I was like,
Just went on Facebook.
I was like, "Just take his Facebook picture, dumbass." And then, she didn't want it for a second. Then she's like, "Actually, no, this is the perfect picture." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So, otherwise, I was ready to take a picture of you just randomly and just send it. But
see, I would have cornered him and been like, "You against the wall."
yeah. Well, basically, because I know like he wouldn't have really questioned it if I just, But so I was watching for that the whole time, and so WrestleMania this year was in Las Vegas, so that there's a reason that's gonna come into play later, but I kept thinking it was in LA for some reason, so like throughout the night I'd have to remember, oh no, it's in Las Vegas. That's what I think that's why Courtney went, and then I think one of the first things I don't know, so this is different than what we traditionally see when it comes to wrestling, like even for what we just saw. Do you think of a big part of wrestling, or do you think a big part of wrestling is their monologues with the microphones?
I feel like that's...
Question for Doug, obviously.
Well, okay,
for people with camera, or no camera. Yeah.
I think it's... I feel like it's more like the Dragon Ball Z effect, where those ones where they do the talking and stuff is just kind of filler to try and do like... story and background and everything like
Yeah.
that. But then the wrestling is the main thing. So when they finally get to either a boss event or they get to a fight in Dragon Ball Z, that's the cool shit. But then you enjoy the story that was built up through the prior 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 episodes.
I was expecting a lot of them to pull the mics out and
that's
start talking to really build up their fight or whatever. No, apparently a lot more of that stuff was in the stuff I missed. So there's a lot if you don't watch fucking the MCU shows and then you just watch the movies and you're like, all right, well, what's going on here?
Yep.
So. Yep. I heard a couple things like that. Of course, Alex and his dad, also named Doug, were, filling me in on different things. But, yeah, it's real funny because, knowing the whole thing is, scripted and everything and all that, there's still so many things they put into it that mimic an official sports sanctioned event, which it is, sanctioned what league or whatever it was? Because I know it's part of under TKO, but they have an actual sports commission thing too, which I forget what Alex said it was, which is why I looked at him for an answer, but he didn't say anything.
I just think it's under TKO. I don't know what the. I
That's
try not to
the
stay away from the corporate shit.
Yeah, that's the parent company.
Yeah.
But it is, although it's scripted, it is a sanctioned sports event kind of thing. So there's
sports entertainment.
Yeah, so they do have things. That's why they have, despite them obviously not being real referees and stuff there, and announcers and stuff like that, which kind of obviously, as we saw today at Backlash, kind of can add on to the story or story building. But coming into this fresh with none of the story building stuff, it really was just me hearing people talking about the next match or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. So the first thing I saw was Rey Mysterio, I guess, is missing his match in WrestleMania because he had some kind of injury, and not so me, especially being skeptical of oh, is this scripted or not. I was like, okay, so is this real or is this a thing? Because they got some guy they just debuted 2 weeks ago, supposedly, for the into the WWE or whatever, named Rey Fenix, who's Penta's brother, the guy you're rooting for Backlash, is taking, or he took Rey Mysterio's place to fight the American. What's his name?
El Grande Americano.
Yeah, El Grande Americano.
Such a stupid fucking character, but that was really funny.
Yeah, very Trump coded. We can get back. He's from the Gulf of America and all that. BS. So, I was sitting there well, this kind of makes it more fun because I can sit there and be like, oh well, is that to give him his chance to get a debut? Because apparently that's 2 weeks ago, or did this guy actually hurt his leg? You're going to be questioning that kind of thing. And then, being an outsider, I didn't have anyone to really root for most of the fights. I kind of just look at people and be like, all right, So the first match was Jey Uso and Gunther, right?
That was cool. That was fun.
Yeah, Doug saw.
Well, you saw Gunther and Pat McAfee today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's talking about WrestleMania.
Yeah, you basically saw the sequel to the event I'm talking about. Well, and there's of course there's plenty of Raws and SmackDowns in between these events too that brought the plot along, but I missed all that. So it's almost like seeing the movie and then seeing the sequel. But Alex got to see all the MCU shows between that, build up the extra stuff. But anyway, so I didn't really know who to root for. So every time there was an Islander, I was basically like, all right, I'll root for the Islander. When Drew McIntyre, the fucking, I guess Irish guy?
Big Scottish dude.
Yeah, the Scottish dude and Damian Priest, the big Hispanic dude fought. I was like, Damian Priest, because, I don't know, he's cool. And then one guy I've been seeing, because Facebook's been feeding me a lot of his stuff. Well, two people. So Facebook feeds me a lot of Rhea Ripley, who is, we've talked about the Muscle Mommy on the Muscle Mommy episode before. She's basically just like a goth metalhead wrestler. That's her gimmick. And apparently that wasn't always her gimmick also. I saw when she was like a girly girl when she first debuted, which was funny. And then Dominic Mysterio, who's Rey Mysterio's son, who somewhat recently has started like a what they call a heel turn, or he's the bad guy, so the crowd's supposed to hate him, that's like their thing, because as we know from like in the guild and stuff, we know when we have to play the bad guys and when we get to play the good guys, whether it's in Fight for the Bone or whether it was in
Yeah.
our sword fighting stuff. So this guy is doing the whole I'm the bad guy thing, but according to we'll get there later, for what happened. But yeah, so I rooted for that guy, and then of course John Cena, just because okay, I know who John Cena is. He's fighting a guy that I heard of only in a meme where they called him the Negro icon, Cody Rhodes, which
What?
he's a white guy, but apparently I think he's got a black wife, and does he have
His
a black
dad
mom?
had a huge black following. His dad was also a wrestler.
Yeah, but to me that all comes off as like sarcastic, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna stay away from that. But no, apparently he really has like the same kind of fan base his dad had and stuff like that. So I was still rooting for John Cena though, because I know that guy from way more memes.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So as the fight was going on, I was having a lot of fun watching Alex and his dad be just very invested in some of the moves where, they didn't even necessarily look like real. Like, say you and I were like, oh, they totally missed him, but like they'd be like, ooh, like
Yeah.
they're so invested into like the choreography or like the moves of it, where like I think a lot of people
Well, the
can't
characters.
they can't suspend the disbelief enough to be that invested usually. But it made it a lot funnier, as they were, uh, talking and like, they're really absorbed into it and everything with like, oh, like the damage and whatever kind of thing. And yeah, after over time too, I eventually started to like see the little tricks they were doing. Like I mentioned when we were watching Backlash just now, like they'll stomp on the ground to make a punch sound loud.
Yep.
And they like slap their leg to make a kick sound good. And the leg slap does make it sound like a real nice little actually a little to the face. So yeah, that being said,
I think some of my favorite moves were the chest slapping.
The chops. Yeah.
Just friggin'
Yes. In the first match, they really oversold the chops to me. So when I watched it and it's just a dude backhanding a guy in the chest,
yeah.
which sometimes it's not even very hard. I was just like, oh my god, this is so fucking awesome. And then first freak out of the night for them too is when Gunther, he tapped
To a
and-
sleeper.
Yeah, he was in I think
Wait, Gunter got into a sleeper, or he was putting somebody?
he was put into a sleeper and tapped,
Oof.
and he never taps according to Alex and his dad. So they were freaking out. They're like, "What the fuck was that? Whoa, whoa!"
Yeah. This dude spent 80% of his career with the WWE with a championship. So that's not, you don't get that very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as I was, so again, I'm missing all the, whatever episodes. I'm missing the MCU shows between. So what I saw the whole time was only what they could convey, literally in the pre-show, and then like during the match. And they have these little intro videos too, by the way. That kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes they'll give you some of the promotion stuff.
Yep.
And some story stuff, like the Drew McIntyre, the Scottish guy, and Damian Priest. That was the most obvious of like what their story is, because apparently Damian Priest has gotten in the way of the Drew McIntyre winning the belt a lot. Blah blah blah. Alex and his dad had no empathy for Drew McIntyre being a crybaby, is basically what they call them. Because he's like, you keep me from getting the belt, and it's like, yeah, that's my job, kind of thing. And so. Yeah, that was good. I mean, that was a good match. I mean, same thing when we saw Backlash. I think we almost rooted for like the same thing going on, even though it was a fatal 4-way, like the same exact people. But yeah, that being said, yeah, I only saw so much of the story from there. And then Alex was playing started playing this game of like, let's guess what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
for the night to spice things up, I guess. Fake wagers and kind of thing. There was
Yeah,
no, like,
just like, all right, who's gonna win this match? If you said this person, then you get a point.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, we tallied who would have the most.
Yeah.
Bragging rights. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was just
just fun.
yeah, and so yeah, we get the girls match. Finally got to see the Muscle Mommy, and then I think not one of Alex's favorites. Jade Cargill wasn't in that match, right? Or was
No.
she? No, it was Bianca something.
Bianca Belair.
Yeah, she was a girl. It's the same thing where they really freaked out about the chopping. They really freaked out about she whips people with her hair.
She has this really, really long braid, and it's straight up a whip
Yeah.
that she just fucking. Ugh. It makes, like, when it really connects, man.
It sounds really bad.
It gives you that full body ick.
She's just slapping people with her hair.
Yeah. Probably greasy as shit.
Well, I don't even know if it's real. First of all, because it's that.
No, they're hair extensions.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think it's so it's like horsehair maybe or something. But it's
That's
very
funny.
long. But yeah, so that fight was interesting. Alex was rooting for Ivo Sky or something.
Io
like
Sky.
that. Io Sky, yeah, Japanese wrestler.
First Japanese wrestler to win at WrestleMania.
Nice.
Yeah, and then of course, like I said, the goth mommy was fighting for it. She rooted for her, but of course, Io Sky won.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I think was it a tag team or?
No, it was a triple threat.
Oh yeah, that's why. Okay, that's why I'm only remembering those three because it was a three-way fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, so each night they had a closer. The first night was
Seth Rollins,
CM
Roman
Punk.
Reigns, and CM Punk.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so that pretty boring in my opinion. But of course, these are like the biggest names in wrestling. If you don't know wrestling,
Well, that match specifically was very much a story thing that you missed.
yeah. But even then, it was very slow, and it was cool when it spilled out into the crowd a little bit. But compared to, I think when you are only seeing the highlights of stuff, and then when you come in and you see what they actually do, it's like, okay, this is very slow pace.
Well, I mean, like you said, you weren't invested. I mean, you came in for the series finale where it's like, all right, we're just doing the fight.
Yeah, but also, I mean, I think everyone else. Oh, sorry, I skipped Jacob Fatu and LA Knight fighting. Which I was about to say, yeah, those guys put on a better show than I think the closing guys. But again, I think it's because they try to make the tempo more dramatic, which makes things a little, But also, yeah, they do a lot of throwing each other around. I felt like it wasn't as much. Versus, which I'm getting there for night 2 also, trust me.
Right.
But yeah, so Alex was real stoked. It was really funny. I laughed because there's this guy. I called him the little gremlin because in Facebook Reels he's this like fake agent or something, and
He's a manager.
Is a simp for whatever wrestler. So apparently Alex said he was originally a simp for CM Punk. Then he started simping for Roman Reigns. And then in this event, he betrayed those two guys and started simping for Seth Rollins, which is like Alex's favorite guy right now or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And watching that, so obviously there's an element of like, hey, I'm not going to, like, because it's an element of theater. The guy's not going to actually fucking hit these guys in the nuts, but he did this move where he puts his arm under their fucking nuts and acts like he's kind of like rocking their shit.
Yep.
Like ringing the dinner bell.
Yep.
But clearly, it's not doing much more than probably mashing their stuff a little bit.
Well, I saw that in this recent one too.
Yeah, they really sell it. And of course, that fucking sent me where I was just like, dude, they're getting their potatoes mashed. And yeah, the little gremlin goes with the new guy, and that's like apparently this. I mean, in the pre-show video thing before, yeah, they sold that where apparently he turned on Roman Reigns. And, yeah, they were like, oh, who's going to choose, CM Punk or whatever? So, this third guy being there kind of makes it obvious he's going to go to that guy. But, I was rooting for CM Punk because I think that's the guy I know the most. But, yeah, so the end of that night, Um, oh, actually, no, we weren't tallying stuff that night. I think we did it the next day.
It was day 2.
So, yeah, day 2, more stuff. Finally, I think that's when I started choosing, like actually trying to, like, all right, I'm going to choose a wrestler. And I think it was either one of the first fights or the first fight where I chose Dom, Rey Mysterio's kid, because I was like, oh, yeah, all right, so this is going to be my guy. Like, if we're going to do this, this will be my guy. And, I guess it's like, I don't know if he always loses or something, but he's, again, heel, so he's supposed to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Alex and his dad were freaking out because everyone's cheering when he wins. Like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, And they're like, what the fuck is going on with the crowd today? Because, like, they usually don't let this guy talk and, all that stuff. He even said as much in the post-show interview. Like,
Yeah.
And he won the belt that he retained, today in Backlash. So, yeah, so there was that. I think there's one more fight that really stuck out, but I don't remember it. Whatever. We'll get there. There was a lot of, like, when you like, have you ever watched like a nerdy movie?
Yep.
And you start watching.
I mean, all the time.
Yeah,
look at me.
But like where you really start trying to guess what's gonna happen, and you have all these like breadcrumbs that tell you like, oh, this might happen, and you end up creating a much grander situation in your head than what the movie turns out to be.
I've only had like a few movies like
Basically,
that.
everybody who makes a career out of trying to like guess what a Marvel movie does. Where they listen to leaks, and some of those leaks are way more grand than the movie turns out to be. Yeah, so we kind of created a situation like that, because Alex has been following the story, not just the story for this event, but, the overall arcing story with John Cena and then Cody Rhodes, which was this big event, SummerSlam or Royal Rumble, when they last fought.
Oh, they didn't fight. He just turned on Cody at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, okay, whatever. He attacked him. It's the same thing to me. But, yeah, so there was this big drama there, which involved The Rock. So Alex had this, like, conspiracy theory, like, oh, he's going to come out tonight. And, so, yeah, the night goes on. People fought. I don't even remember anymore, other than Dom and, it was fun, though. Literally, though, those people put on more of a show. The people I don't remember put on more of a show than the guys at the end of the night. Again, slower tempo, and I don't know, some of their moves, I think, it's just, I'm not sure, especially maybe John Cena's moveset or something.
Maybe they put on like a better show than what you saw from others, sort of thing, or.
Well, yeah, I think it's part of like they're like more hungry too, like they're trying to show out more.
Okay.
Because you'll definitely see people, they're flying across the ring and stuff. Oh, Logan Paul fought, and everyone got upset, even though like we all guessed he was gonna win, but we were like rooting for the other guy. And Logan Paul fought a guy and fucking beat that guy, and we were mad about that. But we're like, oh, yeah, we figured. Mm-hmm. But no, he actually did a really good thing where I think he either like backflipped across the whole fucking ring, or he just leapt across the whole ring. But the whole length of the ring, he jumped off, slammed AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was like a pretty good move, but you're still like, oh, fuck
yeah,
Logan Paul.
Well, yeah, no, it's a bad guy that did a cool move, like.
Yeah. It's cool. Like, keep
in
doing
a better
that.
Timeline, he just was a pro wrestler.
Yeah,
right?
Do less crypto scams. Do more of this. That's basically where we're at with that. So, yeah, we get to the end of the night, and this is like the funniest part of the night, because first of all, there's a lot of tension for like something that happened, because Alex has been following the breadcrumbs of everything that's been going on before, and then like, everybody else has been doing such a phenomenal performance for the night, and Alex thought Cody Rhodes really gonna, put on a show tonight, because this, he's one of the top guys right now, kind of thing, and he still expected John Cena to win. That was what he had it slated for. But he also expected The Rock to come out. That was all of our guesses, because we were all like, Alex told me his little thing about, there's like a whole thing with numbers, and he like cuts his throat or whatever, so he did 2. So like, this has got to be 3, right? Or something like that. No clue. what happened with that. We'll get there. We'll get there later. So, these guys are so absorbed into it, and they're getting very, very mad because Cody isn't doing as well as he should be doing. He's just getting his ass kicked by John Cena. No, it's not like a super one-sided thing. Like, I actually think what we watched just now looked more one-sided than the WrestleMania fight. But, they have this moment where, like, Cody Rhodes could do the bad thing and hit him with the belt, which is not, fake ref thing. It's not legal to hit him with the belt. And then he hesitates, and then John Cena, like, does this, he kicks him in the nuts, which is what he did the first time, and he turned heel, too, and, like, finished him. Then the ref suddenly looking, and, like, they finish the fight. And Alex's dad's so mad, he storms out. He's like, God damn it, And it's like those people that are really absorbed with football.
Yep.
Except these guys knew this was going to happen. They were just, upset because, like, the way the way it looked, the way it went down, they wanted Cody to put more of a fight, kind of thing. And then they're all fucking pissed at the post show because the whole day they were complaining about the crowd. But one of the big ones was the Dom Mysterio. They're cheering for him. But the other one is they're cheering for John Cena, who's gone heel. And, they're supposed to be booing this man, And then, of course, there's still, like, an antagonistic thing John Cena's always had with this crowd, which is part of what I looked into because what happened here. Because they were so mad that they were like, this crowd isn't real. They're fake fans,
Oh, God.
And I was just laughing. I was like, well, I don't know, because they spent, like, thousands of dollars to be there. I hope they're not fake fans, because that'd be, like, ridiculous. But the whole thing is like, and of course, Alex, you could chime in about this since this is your feelings about it.
There were a lot of reasons I was feeling that way. It's like you said, it wasn't. I mean, I had watched this guy go through grueling, fucking crazy ass matches, and then all of a sudden, it seemed like they threw John Cena at him and went, You know what I mean? So it was underwhelming. And also, man, like, growing up, I loved wrestling, but I never got to watch any of the pay-per-views. So I never got to see the conclusion to, like, anything until I saw my first WrestleMania, which was last year, WrestleMania 40. And it was this huge, big deal. It was the best story they probably ever put out. And I'm all excited. I got my buddy over, and I was like, it's going to be just like last year. And then we hit this. It was such a sour note. It was like.
Oh, I actually forgot to tell the closer, which he was getting mad at when we were talking about it during Backlash. So Cody Rhodes gets the upper hands on John Cena, and then Travis Scott's music starts, and we're thinking, oh fuck, someone's gonna come out. Like
The Rock is gonna come back.
It's The Rock or something. It's Travis Scott, who in the last event I didn't see. Apparently smacked the fuck out of Cody Rhodes so hard that he like burst his eardrum.
Oh yeah.
So Alex had it slated down that he was going to get his receipt, which means Cody Rhodes is specifically going to get revenge on him for hitting too hard, which usually means I think
he's going to hit him like he hit him.
Yeah, which is I don't know. This is where I talk about what I've been saying, the anime power level stuff, because some of the terminology is so specific, rather than it just being like, yeah, you hit me, now I'm going to hit you kind of thing. It's like, no, I have to do the exact same thing you did to me, which I was like, yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to burst a celebrity's eardrum.
Yeah.
That's,
That's not what I was looking for. I was looking for a fucking hard-ass slap. I didn't think he needed to burst an eardrum.
Well, yeah, but
it
that's
was
what
that
you said.
he went too far.
Yeah, but that's what you said for a receipt, is that they got to do what do to you what you did to me.
It doesn't mean that you have to have the same injury. It just means you get a real hit.
Yeah, well, he did get slammed.
He got his finisher. That was It's not the same thing, but
just no real ones like what is it, neck breaker moves. Those can't be.
Yeah, you're not trying to kill somebody,
but you're trying to hit them hard.
But it's like, I got you back.
Yep.
You paid for it. Here's your receipt. But yeah, no, I was hyped because I was like, yeah, my buddy's gonna be leaving the same thing, and he's gonna be like all into it with me, and. No.
So what happened? He got his ass handed to him by the person that came into the ring, or no?
So
it was a distraction.
When he had the upper hand, Travis Scott comes in, attacks him a little bit.
Takes
But
his sweet ass time getting to the ring.
But then Cody Rhodes, actually he does smash him. That's where I said he got his revenge, because last time it's like they like jumped him basically. This time it's Cody Rhodes smashed him, then John Cena gets up or whatever. So it's like not the same upper hand thing that last time looks like. So to me, that does seem like he's getting him back, which is probably part of why they brought him back, other than he did the official whatever. His song was like the theme song of the event or something like that, which is, I guess, a thing they do. But yeah. So after that, it was real interesting to see, like, everything that just all the emotion they put into it. How they're angry at the fans for what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we get angry at the fans about other stuff, like when they're hating. Like when I'm trying to enjoy the Acolyte and everyone's bitching because, the women witches having kids. Like, shut the fuck up. I don't see how that translates to these people are cheering for John Cena. Fuck you. But I know it's the same energy somehow, which is what made me laugh, because I was out on the outside looking in, like, haha, I could just enjoy this. But I also, I don't care about, or I'm not in the story enough to care about what's going on in the present moment. I also see, like, because all night only what they presented to me is like, oh, John Cena, if he wins tonight, he's going to break a record and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, that'd be nice for him to break a record, because I know he's going to retire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was like, yeah, they're going to give it to him, because he's supposed to be like, he's got to be like the GOAT or whatever. And that's what a lot of the talk was. But it's funny, because you see that change a little bit, or in the way the commentators. So, the crowd, complete opposite of what Alex and his dad think. The commentators, the same exact thing Alex and his dad said. They're real disappointed in how the fight went, blah, blah, blah. And I was sitting there like, I wonder if this is more of, like, the story of it. And, how I mentioned the post-show thing, John Cena says, like, oh, I'm going to ruin wrestling tomorrow, and blah, blah, blah. So, without knowing anything, I was like, maybe that was part of it. Just, I don't know why your story would be, I'm going to do a really fucking lame job at these events. But that's kind of what his heel turn looks like, everything that where, like, he doesn't hype up the crowd anymore. He just walks out, as we saw at Backlash tonight. He's just kind of going out there. And even then, the crowd's still cheering for him and saying weird shit. Like, Alex sent me a thing, even more perplexed, because they were chanting, "We are sorry" to John Cena. Like,
really?
Like, cuck crowd. He's talking. Because I guess the whole thing since his heel turn is like, you guys have been fucking shitty, and actually looked into this to have background into this too. Because when he started being a superstar, there was a lot of people who would chant "John Cena sucks" to his song, because I think it's probably just a lot of people thought he was overrated, blah blah blah. He's a Boy Scout kind of thing. So that's been apparently since, like, fucking 10 WrestleManias ago. Yeah, 10 WrestleManias ago, when I started looking into this, because Alex literally was so mad. He told me to look into this, so I did for him. And so there's, like, so much antagonistic shit they do, even when his fans try to cheer for him, or at least this is what I'm gathering from the internet. Alex had a different opinion on this chant, where one of his fans are saying, "Let's go Cena." The haters chant, "Cena sucks." And it's a thing where they verse each other. Mm-hmm. Where usually it's like, hey, here's the full song. You do this first part of the song, you do the second. And that's what it comes off as, because they're so in sync with it.
Yeah.
But apparently it's them, like, supposedly dueling each other, at least from what I read on the internet. I'm not going to be able to catch the exact moment this started. But it's something John Cena has even...
They're counter-protesting.
Yeah, apparently he's always, like, been, like, I guess positive in the way of, like, he goes, oh, who's going to do it louder kind of thing. And that's part of why I guess it makes sense for his, like, oh, fuck the crowd thing. Because he's always been a nice guy to the crowd or something like that, too. The more shit I've been reading. Which, of course, this is, like, This isn't like Wikipedia, I get the whole fucking story or something like that. This is like Reddits of like WWE people talking. So, yeah. But yeah, after that event, I ended up looking. Like I said, I chose the wrestler Dom Mysterio. Started looking into that because I was like, okay, this will be my guy. Let's catch up on what he's doing. And so this whole time that I've been seeing him on reels and stuff, I thought he was like the just the bad boy. He was always the bad boy. But as I know from memes, also he was in the WWE a long time ago, or maybe WWF or whatever, because this is a very long time ago, where his dad fought Eddie Guerrero, or he would bring his son on to, like, he would get in, be ringside for his dad fighting, alright? And so, that was like his appearance, he's like a cameo or whatever, and he's a little boy. And then, Eddie Guerrero, who's a well-known, I think they called him Latino Heat or something like that.
Yep.
That's what I remember from. He's the only WWE wrestler, or WWF, whatever it was called back then. He's the only wrestler toy I ever had, which is also how I got a nickname for my wiener. Quick side story. My brother had his girlfriend over, and I was a little kid, and I had random toys, including Eddie Guerrero. Didn't really know who he was. I usually made him a hero or a bad guy playing with my toys or whatever. And after I'm done with my bath, there's no towel. So I had to run to my room to get my clothes or whatever. So I open the door after, draining the tub or whatever, and I have the Eddie Guerrero toy covering my dick. And my brother Brad and his girlfriend look at me, and I'm like, don't look at my Eddie. And then I run away. And that's how, they tell my mom and my sister I said that. So next thing you know, yeah, they're all referring to my wiener as my Eddie. So I actually do have a personal connection to Eddie Guerrero, despite never watching him at all.
He passed, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
He died of like a
heart attack.
Yeah, heart-related failure.
Wasn't it like 55 or 56?
He looked pretty fucking young.
He was young. He was
young.
Yeah, he was a young guy.
He looked pretty young, at least. I don't know. But so he was
steroids, man.
He was one of the rivals essentially for Rey Mysterio. So and this is where like the whole god damn it. I gotta tell her real quick that I will.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a text message.
Yeah, she's probably going like, "Are you done yet?" But So this is where I laugh about the whole thing about wrestling. It's like, who came up with the idea to be like, hey, by the way, let's just have it to where like your kid might possibly be my kid, because that is basically what they had, where they had this big event called the Custody for Dominic Mysterio ladder match.
Yep.
What the fuck?
And of course, Rey Mysterio did win, but
it was a good fucking storyline.
Yeah, that's that's real story. Getting that's the soap opera era stuff.
Yeah.
And
Eddie and Ray were like best friends in real life too. No child was like harmed.
Yeah, that's the whole funny thing about it, is that clearly they were behind the scenes like, this is going to be so good for the plot and stuff. But it's even funnier because, like, fast forward to Dominic being a adult, or close to a young adult, and he finally gets to, like, he starts making appearances again, and he's just this big fucking tall Mexican kid, way taller than his dad. And he starts like doing the whole thing. Like, okay, so when we watched Backlash, remember how R-Truth, the black guy, kind of begged Randy Orton?
Yeah.
Like, please don't hit John Cena.
Yeah.
That thing. So that would be Dominic Mysterio's job to do. For example, when Brock Lesnar is about to destroy Rey Mysterio, So he'd go out and do that, and then Brock Lesnar would just fucking like drop Dominic on his head or whatever, like just smash him, and then Rey Mysterio would come in and like jump in and fight him. I was like, oh, okay, so because I didn't know, with not knowing any of this background, there's a whole thing where Dominic apparently did the cameo stuff for a bit, then he went eventually did an actual debut, and then he was like his dad's sidekick, like Batman and Robin, straight up. They're like double 619ing people and shit like that, which looks pretty cool. But it's just one of those things too, where it's like, well, if you're serious about being a wrestler, and this is just conjecture because I don't know, you don't want to just be your dad's fucking sidekick the whole time.
Yep.
And so I actually saw through this like series of videos and his appearances and stuff as he's starting to like look for his career path outside of things, which includes Judgment Day, which is the faction he's with now, which apparently was beefing with his dad. So they're trying to like get him to join. He's like, "I'll never join you," and they like, you know.
And then Mommy was like,
yeah, and then that's not even the pivotal moment though.
No, I know.
The pivotal moment, which I don't know if you remember the pivotal moment
with Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edge is apparently a friend of Rey Mysterio, and he accidentally like spikes or whatever the fuck the movie's called. He tackles Dominic Mysterio on accident. Spear. There we go.
Yep.
Accidentally spears Dominic Mysterio during a match on accident, and he's trying to apologize. It's just so funny to me because I know it's like, oh, so this is what they do to finally get him to go down that start to go down that path. So he's like, no, fuck you, basically. I'm gonna fight you, kind of thing. And his dad's like, no, don't do it, son. You know. So he's starting down that path, and then I think there's like only 2 more fights where like he fought with like alongside with his dad, but then turned on Edge or whatever, and like attacked him, and then after that he like did his full heel turn where he had this like it's just so not convincing as a fucking promo where he's like, you know, my dad never took care of me. Fuck him. You know, blah blah blah. And I'm just sitting there like, dude, you've been fighting with your dad for like how many like I've been watching 10 minutes of this guy fighting with his dad, and he's like, he was never there for me. And then, like, you know, he's saying all this edgy shit because he's, you know, turning into a heel, as they call it. And then even at the end, that's when they show Rhea Ripley, you know, because I guess she's, like, the one who made it all happen. And then they do this funny thing where they keep going to Rey Mysterio's house on holidays and beating him up, which was really funny. like, you know, I think that what makes Dominic Mysterio a really interesting wrestler is like the whole family's there, so he goes and he like fucking attacks his sister.
Oh god!
And, like
throwing water in her face. And
yeah,
shit,
he like tells his mom to shut up, and I think that's finally when Rey Mysterio finally hits him. But yeah, before like the whole thing, Rey Mysterio would not fight him, so they kept beating him up and stuff until he finally like attacks his mom or says something to his mom. Then they have a WrestleMania fight against each other. No clue what happens. I assume he loses though because he's the heel, right? And Rey Mysterio's like a legend. So I don't know. Didn't see that. They didn't care to fucking show me that part. Fast forward to now though, Alex has told me that basically he's just been the shitty bad guy this whole time. He's, you know, had this whole love triangle between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, some blonde girl. Basically a girly girl versus goth girl fight over dirty mullet guy. And it's that was a funny thing, apparently. I didn't see that either.
Well, the other part, too, is now he looks so much like Eddie, it gives that first story, like, a lot of...
Yes, he is
credit.
going, like, maybe I am actually Eddie's son. Like, that's part of his, like,
yeah.
Because when he first debuted, he didn't have the mustache. But after the heel turn, actually, it took him a while to grow the mustache. But now he's got that mustache. It completes his character.
He looks so much like Eddie. Sometimes it's ridiculous.
He looks a lot like Eddie Guerrero, and then like he's got the moves of Rey Mysterio
and Eddie.
What's Eddie's move that he's doing? Because I don't.
The 3 amigos. It's the 3 suplexes over his shoulder.
Oh, that's cool.
In a row. Yeah.
Yeah. See, so that's a really cool way to like, you know, I don't know how much he knew this guy as a kid, but to like honor his memory.
Yeah.
You know, playing the villain and being like, oh, maybe that is my dad, but it's like. Really, you're building your character your career as a wrestler by being like the resurrection of this guy, but also the son of this legend. So I was like, oh, I chose a really interesting person to choose as like my wrestler, I guess, because there's all this lore.
He's little baby Simba.
Yeah. There's a lot to it versus like, you know, if I chose Jacob Fatu, he's just a guy that's hard as fuck apparently. You know, I'm sure. Well, how long has Jacob Fatu been in the business?
Well, for years, but he, as far as being with WWE, less than a year.
Yeah. So, like his character, like I said, there's not much to it. They call him the Samoan werewolf.
The Samoan werewolf.
Yeah, and he's just hard. You know, there's not all this history with his dad and his, you know, all that. Like,
but he's
Dominic
still part
Mysterio.
of that family.
He's part of the
Rocks family, the Anoa'i Fatu family.
Anoa'i. Yeah. So, which I don't know how much story there really is for any of those guys when all it is what Dominic was pulling away from with his dad. It's like, yeah, you're under the Rock shadow, Roman Reigns shadow, you know.
Basically, it's everyone in that family is a fucking wrestling legend, and that's why they're important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they come from wrestling royalty, but like, you know, as far as their like character arc, there isn't much to it. Performance wise, like oh no, we did not say this during the pod. Performance wise, Jacob's got a lot of like. What did you think of Jacob? Actually, I'll let you say it first.
Jacob.
There was the big fucking Samoan dude
During the
mowing everyone
four-way,
over.
the four-way
Oh no,
match.
I loved him. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I like he's got this aggression.
Yeah, and it like builds up. I like his. I like the faces he makes. They're
Yeah,
like
He's very expressive.
yes, like I feel hyped with him. You know, like I'm just like yeah, fucking get it.
Yeah, you're about to see a car wreck.
Yep. Just revving up. I'm just like yes, do it.
yeah. And Alex calls it a no sale. You know the way he acts impervious to some people's moves. And like I said, I'm me watching everyone be over dramatic to like getting tapped and be like, oh, ow. It just makes him look like a bad actor to me. But to Alex, knowing the story, he's like, no, it's because he's made of titanium. You know,
Yeah. He's made of whatever they make Samoans out of.
Yeah,
Because apparently they're all impervious
he's
to
a fucking
damage.
islander. You know, he's got
Yeah.
the mana. You know.
And there's also a thing, you don't headbutt a Samoan because it always hurts you and not them. That is a legit wrestling thing.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep. They have their own whole thing. I love it.
All right.
But-
Well, I don't know. Did you want to go ahead and call it? You're the one that has a.
Oh no, I was just telling her. Yeah, we're almost done. But I mean, is there anything? Is there anything else we want to talk about? Or
If y'all are ever like got nothing to do, well, I mean, even if you got something to do or make time for it, like you guys should watch a wrestling match on occasion. It helps revigorate your blood vessels.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah,
Well, at the very least, it's something new you haven't tried before.
Yeah.
You can take the whole fake thing, and then once you've watched it, you can decide for yourself.
If you can sit through 4 quarters of banging each other in the head, then 7 minutes of commercials, and then coming back to banging each other in the head in 7 minutes of commercials.
Who doesn't love watching a car wreck?
Right. Well, I mean, wrestling is a lot more entertaining than fucking football.
well, at least there's more plot. Yeah.
Right.
Now, if you give me some soap opera reason why Peyton Manning's got to throw a fucking really long ball or whatever, maybe I'll get more interest.
I just hear fucking South Park. What would you do if the Broncos lost to the? Can you guys give me another football team? Because I don't know anyone.
Yeah.
To the Patriots.
We did
Freedom
have
costs $1.05.
a real good fun thing. We didn't, since we're not Super Bowl heads. Basically, what happened at the end of basketball or whatever, I think the beginning of basketball, where the bad team won and everyone started rioting. You know that happened this year, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, the what is it, Seahawks or whatever, Philadelphia won, and they fucking, because I know we like mentioned that a little bit.
Wait, are
But,
you talking football or baseball?
Football.
Football, and the Seahawks like rode to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they won the Super Bowl, or if it's, I don't know if it's the Seahawks.
I thought that was 2
It's-
years ago.
It's the Eagles, not the Seahawks. It's the Philadelphia team. I know we briefly
I think
mentioned
it's the
them.
one,
Some
I think
kind
they're
of
the
fucking
team that
bird.
always gets there but never gets it.
They get pretty far, but yeah, they
Fight
so
dog.
last year they lost to the Chiefs. This year they beat the Chiefs, and Alex brought up that song, and it just reminded me of in basketball when like the Dallas team won and everyone's rioting outside or whatever. And I was like, oh fuck, that happened this year.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So actually, it's their second Super Bowl they've won because they won one in 2018 as well. So 2018 and 2025, that's when the Eagles have won the Super Bowl.
Damn. You know, it's crazy. My mom's team, the Cowboys, won like 5, but that was like all in the 90s or like way before now. And it's like, damn, you guys haven't been a good team in a long time.
That's when they had CIA money.
Yes. Anyways, I think a good way to close this off, unless Alex has more to say about wrestling,
No, go ahead.
because I'm not in too much of a... We still
Honestly, it's more interesting to me to hear your perspective on this.
All right. Well, then, as we saw today, we all need a little escapism every now and then. It's good to know what's going on in the world, but sometimes knowing too much of what's going on in the world sucks because it kind of just, hate to use incel terms, but black pills you. It turns you into a bit of a doomer.
When did black
Because
pill become an insult term?
it's been a it's been an insult
Like I thought
term.
that just meant like literally it's being like super duper negative, you know, like everything. It's basically not being optimistic. It's being pessimistic all the time.
It's nihilism plus 10.
Yeah.
Well, it's so black pilling is what they call, like, it's part of the process of becoming an incel.
Oh, okay.
You learn because your skull shape and all that dumb shit they believe in, that you're never gonna get a bitch. Basically, you ain't never gonna get a woman, brother.
People are weird.
Yeah, and that's what's weird is how much that stuff has been normalized now.
Yeah.
Where people talk about jaw maxing and all that stuff. That is incel stuff.
Yeah. No.
Incel stuff has become the mainstream, which is part of
Jaw
the problem.
maxing?
Yeah, jaw maxing, where they'll be talking about like
You gotta like
doing
push
the
it
jaw
forward or something like that.
You know, they chew on those fucking foam ball weights. You've probably seen some stuff on the internet. There's all sorts of things. Looks maxing. Do I have hunter eyes or prey eyes?
Oh fuck!
All
my
that
head
dumb shit.
hurts.
Yeah. Now,
I hope all you alphas end up having kids and they're all going to be betas.
I hope you all.
Because right now they'd be betas.
I was about to say, I hope all you
The
alphas
generation.
have kids and they go trans. But
Having
anyways,
said that, we hope you love your trans kids.
yeah, that too. But I mean, a lot of guys that are what I would consider alpha do have fucking kids that are trans, and they go, "Well, I love my kids, so now I'm gonna support them."
Yep.
Good.
You know, not everyone can be a fucking loser like Elon. You know. That being said, though, yeah, make sure to guys. You know,
How can you have billions of dollars
Hey,
and still be such a big fucking loser?
Don't you ever talk like that about the president in front of me.
Yeah. The president. God damn it, President, the failure in chief, more like.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, just let a little whimsy into your life. Don't get black pilled out of everything. I'm actually we're all big proponents of knowing what's going on in the world,
Yeah.
but don't let it absorb you completely. Especially when you can't change it. You could fucking grab bricks, guns, whatever, and try to change things today. You could try, but without really having the people on your side and having information out for everybody, you're not gonna win. So what I say right now is, play the game for survival. Do your part to be informed, but don't be absorbed in it, because that's, essentially that's how you become a terrorist, where, even if you're trying to do what you think is right, they're just going to label you as a psycho or whatever.
Yep.
And usually, I'll be honest, it's not usually the people on our side anyways that do this. It's usually the people that look around and see the gays are indoctrinating our children, and if I don't shoot up this gay strip club, they're the deep state's gonna take over. I know I'm just reminding you guys not to get too depressed, because I know people spiral. We saw we know Doug spiraling a little bit in this episode, because it's just bad times. We got a bad fucking 4 years ahead of us that we just gotta So remember to have a little fun.
It's the longest 14 years of presidency
It's gonna be a lot longer than 4 years as far as how long we're dealing with this shit.
Oh yeah, no. Even whether Trump goes willingly or not, man, we're gonna have to deal with his bullshit cultists for a while.
Well, just the things that he's already done.
Yeah, no, because everything he's
Outside his
disassembling
cultists.
was set up over years.
Yep.
And it's literally the grid block that we had in Congress. You know what I mean?
Well,
Because there was literally about half of those fuckers that were like, let's get rid of these programs. And the other half was like, no, we got to keep these programs. And then we have your executive branch over here going like, I'm going to sign an executive order. And you're either going to stop me or not. And the legislative branch is like, yep, go for it. Because, of course, it's a majority of the people that say disassemble everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be black-pilled like that just because I saw how fast all this stuff was undone, which just tells me all this stuff could be redone just as fast. We just have to elect someone who has fucking balls to do it, instead of fucking playing pussyfoot with people that are just going to try to reach across the party lines. And
stop trying to
nothing.
creep across the aisle. Stop trying to appease cultists.
And, maybe put down the Roman salutes and sit down and maybe watch a little wrestling, have a little copium. Just chill a little bit.
Get mad with Alex at John Cena's crowd, or the Cena crowd.
Watch Gunther do some chest bumps.
Yeah. And cheer for Dom with me. I don't care if the crowd's supposed to or not.
And it's not for everybody. I mean, I'm a huge fan. Giving it a shot, or Chuck's giving it a shot, and Doug's obviously having a blast. I love watching wrestling with Doug.
Yeah, I like being a casual and all sorts of stuff. Like, I'm not a fucking trading card fan, despite being an owner in a trading card company. But
as opposed to me,
being
at
a
this point in
tourist
time,
is fun sometimes.
Yeah.
So being a tourist in wrestling, then being like, look at all you guys fucking doing this. That's funny. Or this is interesting. Like being able to be new to something rather than being like, I've been doing this forever, and like now I gotta fucking deal with all these other tryhards. And I'm not saying Alex is a tryhard. I'm talking about
you tryhard.
Yeah.
What can I say, man? I'm a fan.
Not calling Alex a tryhard, but when I'm talking about other hobbies we have that we've experienced tryhards in it, where they're like, no, I know more than you about this. And,
music scene.
Yeah, and old
Cool,
Ren Fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go play with myself for a little bit. Ding, doo, doo.
Oh, that wasn't just you ending it. That was an example.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait, can you wait for us to leave?
No, I thought that was him.
Wait, is that all I gotta do to get you guys to leave? Is to start playing with myself?
I mean, I'll just look away.
You could also just say, hey, man, could you get out of my house?
Well, anyways, I'm gonna play with myself. I'm Chuck Bailey. I got the physical version of the Shattered Legacy book. Domains divided out finally. I actually should have brought some here. I got them in a box.
Damn.
But yeah. What about you, Doug?
Well, I am really contemplating getting down and finally doing some YouTube and minus, ranging from doing video games. And then I was thinking of, like, I should just read the Bible and try and interpret it myself. But then I was like, is now the time to do that? So, I don't know. Keep an eye out for my YouTube. I might be doing either video games or certain heresy, so.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. As far as me, I'm still seeing what I can do about getting our girl Quinn on here. And I see Chuck in the comment section.
On here. Quinn. Actually, no, I don't think that'd be a good idea because I would get really bashful and then like run to my room.
I was about to say, damn, we just turned a fucking corner here.
No, you kidding, dude? Like,
dude, it would be fun.
It would be fun.
It would be really
but
fun.
we would have to have about like 30 minutes of me just trying to get over starstruckness symptoms,
Just a person with an OnlyFans who has fun making content.
Are you kidding, dude? Like we're gonna sit down and like become serious, and then she's gonna be like, look into my eyes.
What,
and be like,
dude?
No!
When are we fucking serious?
Anyways, Alex, you got anything going on?
Just the podcast and hopefully just getting a little bit of sleep.
God, aren't we all just wanting sleep? All right. Well, with that, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys have a great day, evening, morning, whatever it is. Peace and trains!